y'all, thanks for joining me tonight. It's Kayla if you somehow found me and you're not from the Facebook group. So today I'm going to be going over all of the stuff that I have on hand for goat birth. It is kidding season, or about to be kidding season. I just got a new goat who is due to kid any day now, and this is the start of like my goat kidding series. So I'll be going over what I have on hand, all the signs that if there's impending labor, what to do during labor, and then if there are any complications in the labor, I'll talk about those as best I can if I'm able to during labor. If not, I'll talk about what happened and things like that, but we're hoping for 0 complications. 0. So this is my big box of kidding shit. So we'll just start in here. Basics, I have vet wrap. I use this sometimes, especially if you have like more than twins with goats, sometimes their legs can get a little funny. So I found that using a little bit of vet wrap and supporting their legs helps them be able to stand better for anyone that has wobbly legs for like the first couple of days. So I always have vet wrap. You can also make like a tiny little cast with vet wrap and paper towel roll. I'll use that sometimes. So vet wrap is there. Let's see, go with things in order. We're very selenium deficient, so I have selenium paste here that I use. All of my mama goats get it beforehand. It has dosages on the back. If you're not sure about the selenium in your area or anything like that, talk to the person you get your hay from. If they don't know, get your hay tested or talk to your vet about getting selenium. There's also a selenium shot that I have, but that one is vet prescription only. So if you want that, you do have to go to your vet and get it. I have it on hand. I know how much to use with my goats. I'm not going to give you guys any kind of dosage because it really depends on your goat and the selenium in your area. But I have it on hand for any kids that are looking pretty bad. I'll give them a shot, and does I usually give them a shot a month or so before kidding, and then they get this like the week that I think they're gonna kid. So this is just a selenium and vitamin E gel. It's great. Next I have in here the Nutra drench for the goat and sheep Nutra drench. I just really like this during labor or right after labor, just to give mama goat a little bit of like a kick in the butt, make her feel a little bit better. It just gives her all those vitamins and minerals and things that she's using up quite rapidly, producing milk and popping out some babies. So this has calcium, 2 types of calcium, no, 1 type of calcium, but it has minimum and maximum amounts. Selenium, vitamin A, vitamin D, and vitamin E. So this is just, I add a little bit of this with some molasses and some water and give it to the goats after labor, if they're having a long labor, in the middle of labor, stuff like that. I will also, if I feel, if mom's having a problem during labor and she's not really wanting to drink, I will drench it. So I force down some of this, like I say, it is a drench. Next, I have iodine. This I use on the umbilical cords on the baby goats. So especially if they look a little funny, mom nibbled them too long, nibbled them too short, something like that, I will take, I don't have them out here, but like the little Dixie cups, and put iodine in there and just dip their little umbilical stumps in the iodine. Helps prevent any kind of infection from forming, things like that. So yeast is great. Okay, I just got new scissors and J-clamps. So again, if mom left the umbilical too long or anything, clamp it, cut it at the right length. I'm not going to tell you what that is. That's medical advice. I'm not giving it. But ask your vet what it should be for goats. Then I have the fun stuff, because I have pulled my fair share of kids. So I have the shoulder length gloves, because you will be elbow deep in a goat if you're pulling a kid, pretty much, like prepare for it. And OB lube, I just have a small bottle. I have a big one on order that should be coming in the mail. I only have 1 goat kidding right now. I have a month in between at least. The rest of mine are due around March 9th-ish, March 9th or later. So I will have the big supply of these coming in soon, or a much larger supply of this coming in soon. Then again, the OB gloves here, they're great to have. I also have, I don't have it out here with me because it's just in my standard medical stuff. I have a bunch of neoprene gloves that I use, just the short ones. Then I have, because I currently do not have frozen colostrum, I have powdered colostrum supplement just in case milk doesn't come in, mom's not nursing, for whatever happens. I have this. I will be milking colostrum from some of my goats if they have singles or twins with a lot of colostrum that they're producing, to freeze and use for future kidding. But for this time, I talked to my vet. This is what she recommended I get. This is the one I get. I'm using. It's the Save a Lamb, Save a Kid Lamb and Kid Colostrum Replacer. Oh, where is my bottle? My bottle's not in here. I have a bottle with a nipple somewhere in this house. I'll find it and show you guys in a little bit. But yes, I have bottles with little nipples that this gets mixed into. I have all the directions for doing that. I know there's a huge debate as to whether or not to feed formula supplement or whatever. As far as colostrum goes, get something in them, whatever you can get, and this is what I can get right now. So this is what I'm doing. After they get a colostrum in, then they'd go on a whole milk until I have a goat in milk for the kid, or until I can milk mom enough to feed the kid, depending on what the situation is. So always have some sort of colostrum supplement on hand. These I keep in the freezer. They last longer in the freezer. I don't really need them usually. I have goats that do great with kids and everything. I haven't had problems in the past. So I just got it to have on hand just in case. Then there's a couple other things that you can get from your vet to have on hand. I have them because I have spoken with my vet. I have a plan in place. I know how to use everything. So some of those things that you would want to talk with your vet about are things like oxytocin. If you're dealing with really slow labor, if you think something's going on weird in there, you can get oxytocin from your vet. If you have retained placenta, sometimes the vet will recommend an oxytocin injection. I have it on hand. I know I have a plan that I've pre-planned with my vet. I know when to give it, how much to give, all of that kind of stuff. That's when you would talk to your vet. I mentioned earlier the Selenium shot that just comes in a bottle. That's one you can get from your vet and have that on hand. I like to have it for kids that have failure to thrive and stuff like that. It seems to do really good in my area, at least, because we are low selenium with them. Then I usually will have some sort of antibiotic on hand. Usually just just an antibiotic on hand. Talk with your vet, see what they recommend. I'm not going to give an antibiotic recommendation because there are some antibiotics you can get from farm stores depending on where you live. So I'm not going to say what I keep on hand. Talk to your vet, let them know, and get it from them. Other things I keep on hand that are just in my general thing, I keep a sugar solution on hand to drench, or I'll drench molasses with the minerals here. It just depends. I also keep a painkiller on hand. Again, that one is for retained placenta. If I'm dealing with retained placenta, the protocol that I've worked out with my vet is generally a shot of oxytocin, some painkiller, and then antibiotic to prevent infection. But that's what we have worked out, not necessarily what you will do in your situation. So every situation is different. I'm gonna go run and see if I can find one of my little bottles to show you. I don't know where in the heck it got put, so I will be right back. All right, here is one of my bottles. This one has the Pritchard flutter valve on it for the nipple. So this is the Pritchard flutter valve on the nipple as the nipple. I really like this. I have mini La Manchas. Those are what my goats are. So I find that this size nipple does really well. Bear. Sorry. Every time I video for you guys, an animal likes to interrupt. Bear's blind and can't get on the bed. I feel like he's interrupted another video in the past. So I always get the bottles from the store that have like, let's see, the actual ounces and stuff on here. I like to know how much my goats are drinking, especially if I'm dealing with any kind of a problem. I want to know how much they're drinking. So that's what I get. You can put these lids on like a soda pop bottle or any kind of bottle with a screw top, pretty much. But I just really prefer to know my ounces, and I can tell how much the kid has taken in. So yeah, this is my basic supply kit. Oh, I also have, I don't have it out here. A lot of people use bowl syringes for the goats. I use the dang Baby Frida thing to clean out their passageways if I feel like someone's extra mucusy. I do not routinely suck noses out if they don't need it. I've just found sometimes it pushes more goop in there than it actually gets out, especially with the bulb syringes in my experience. If I feel like they are congested or they're not clearing their airways the way I'd like them to, I use the little nose Frida, I shove it in their nose and I suck the crap out of there, and I know it sounds disgusting, but they tell me that it's not, so that's what I use. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the basics. Like, it's not a huge kit. It's not like 25,000 things going on. I don't need it. I don't have high volume babies here. I try and let my goats do everything on their own for the most part. Like I said, I've had to pool a couple of times. Artemis's first kidding, when she was here, I pulled 3 of 4 of her babies because there were 3 sacks protruding at once, so that was a shit show. But really, I try and let them do what they do and not get in the way. So I'm gonna pack all of this back up in my tiny box. This is one of the boxes I got from Costco. I like it because it has like the little side handles I can just grab and go. It's got everything in it. I can take it out to the barn with me. Other things I make sure that I have that are stocked in my barn, not necessarily here. I have a bunch of blankets. We usually kid here in the dead of fucking winter. Yay. So I have a hair dryer to dry off the goats. Ooh, excuse me. I have not ever put jackets or anything on the babies. I think that their hair should fluff up on their own. And I don't put heat lamps in the barn or anything. They're just in really, really deep straw out there, and they've done great for me so far. I think when Artemis kidded, we were in the single digits possibly, maybe colder, I don't remember, and her babies did great. We've been colder than that before, but no, I think Artemis was the coldest we've kidded. This year might be different, we'll see. Oh, the other thing I have also in my regular medical kit area is a thermometer. If you have babies that mom is rejecting, are not doing so well, you have to warm them up before you feed them. So thermometer to take rectal temperature and make sure their temperature is up. Yeah, all right, that is everything. So I'm going to go, these are going to go and get sanitized. They get boiled for 2 minutes and then put into, because I don't really have like super sanitary things I can put them in. They just get put in a Ziploc bag that's closed off after they've been boiled. That's the best way to keep things sanitary. And then when I'm done with them, every time I use them, they get boiled again and put into new bags. Just try to keep things clean. And every year, these are my new ones. I just got these because I needed new stuff. It had been a while. Every year before kidding happens, I boil them in preparation and get them in their bags so they're ready to go. So yeah, that is all of my kidding supplies. Well, most of my kidding supplies. Like I said, there are some things that I have that you don't necessarily need. But if you want to discuss those options with your vet, you certainly can, and see if it's something I would recommend if your vet is very far away from you, discussing having those on hand. That way, if something happens, you can call your vet and be like, hey, this is what's going on. What do you recommend I give my goat? And you would already have the things there. So that's just something to consider if you are far away from a vet or it's hard to get in to see the vet. It would be nice to have those kinds of things on hand for you. I will link all of the things that you can buy in the description, and I will list the things that I have gotten from my vet. I'm not going to list specifics. The Selenium one is this, like, the one that you get everywhere, but the antibiotic and the oxytocin one, talk to your vet, see what they have, see what they recommend, if you want to have it on hand. So in the next videos, we're going to be going over the signs of labor starting in goats. Miss Clover is holding those suckers hostage real good. We're like on week 1.5, almost 2, or something like that. Sorry, I'm looking over at the barn. Like week 1.5, almost 2, of her thinking about having babies. She's so uncomfortable. She's begging the crap out of her sides, like all of the signs and symptoms of like impending labor. So we're just waiting. We're hoping any day now for her, and I will be doing those. There'll be 2 or 3 videos on that, just depending on what length they end up being in the end. So I will get those up in the next couple of weeks, and then hopefully I'll have the labor video for you guys, and you guys will get to see a kidding and how that all works out. And then I will also be recording my other guys as they go through the stages as well, so that you can see it all in multiple goats, because not every goat is the same. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me on here today. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comments below, or if you're in the group, feel free to ask in the group. And I will catch you all another day.